Hi guys, we're on our way to Winco right now. I go early in the morning while I still have a lot of energy. If I wait till after I do chores, usually I'm really tired. When we lived in Idaho Falls next to Winco, I used to go at about 4 o'clock in the morning so that Mr. Dirt could watch the girls before work. And it was pretty much empty because it's a 24-hour grocery store. It's always open. Go to the grocery store. I'm not buying groceries for this week. I'm buying groceries with 2 months in advance on my mind. So it's tiring. It's heavy, and then I still have to put it all away when I get home. So we're here getting gas because one other really important tip is always have your gas tanks full, because then if you have an emergency and for some reason you're not able to buy gasoline, you have that full tank as a backup. This is what I wanted to show you guys at Winco. They have bins that have unbagged things, so you can come and bag your own, but you can order anything that you don't see. So when I'm buying my 20-pound bags, or I guess that's 50 pounds, my 50-pound bags, this is what I'm buying. Beans are expensive, but as far as protein, you can't beat them. And they have everything. They have noodles, and anything you see, you can get. You can get bags of salt too. Hey guys, I'm gonna try and take this while I'm driving, so I'm not gonna look at you. As we leave the grocery store, I wanted to talk about scrounging, because I called my mom before I left and I just asked if she needed me to do anything for her, and she said that she had a whole bunch of stuff in her storage that she's not going to use anymore, and she'd appreciate it if I would come get it. So we just left not just with groceries, but with probably 150 pounds at least of dry goods and some frozen fruit. Is this the right time to be talking, Kai, even in a whisper? Can you stop, please? So a lot of times there's people around that have old food storage and stuff, and even if you take it and don't use it for yourself, you can use it for livestock. The other thing I wanted to talk about was, as I leave the grocery store, I'm plotting ahead what I will be buying the next week. So next week, I'm going to be focusing on things from the dollar store. I'm going to go and get Epsom salts, toothbrushes, and I'll probably get a year's worth of each, and it won't cost me much because they've got those 6-packs of toothbrushes at the dollar store. And if I go and get $20 worth of that, that's a year's worth of toothbrushes. Hygiene is important if you're in a situation where I don't know, it's important in any situation, isn't it? Hygiene. So I will be buying soap, I will be buying toothbrushes and Epsom salts, and probably a lot of vitamin C. Not at the not at the dollar store, but probably at the health food store. So these are things that I try to think ahead on. Okay, so X, Y, and Z is now built up. Now I'm going to focus on A, B, C. And here in a little bit, I might start to think about garden seeds and going through and building those back up. Although I know for a fact that most of my garden seeds are still topped off, because I mean, for what you get, you're getting a huge amount of food in that little tiny packet of seeds. So I'm pretty sure I'm not. If anything, I might be down a little bit on some herb seeds that I need to reorder. So this week I focused a lot on fresh fruits and vegetables, because I saw that we didn't have enough last week, and it meant that we were eating more meat or not eating at all. And the last 2 days I was trying to conserve on meat again, and the last 2 days I've been laying on the couch because I didn't have enough energy to get up. I would get up and do my chores and stuff in the morning, but then I wouldn't have any energy afterwards to really do anything that needed to be done outside. Mostly I just kind of kept the house tidied up, and I lay in my bed and I read. And then when my husband comes home at night, I feel bad because he was out there working his butt off all day, and I didn't. I didn't do anything for the family that needed to be done. And so that's the cost of not having enough variety in groceries, is that if your nutritional needs are not being met, you don't have the energy to do the things that need to be done. So again, this week I got a lot of root vegetables, and I'm gonna pack them in towels in my fridge and see if I can keep them from freezing, because last week the turnips that I got ended up freezing halfway in my fridge. Like I said, my fridge is broken, so that the fridge tries to freeze things and the freezer tries to thaw, and so they're both at about the same temperature, but neither one is good for fresh fruits and vegetables. So I spent more this week on regular groceries, although a lot of it will go forward into the next week. And I got one box of spaghetti noodles, and let's see, what else did I get for food storage? I don't think not much else, but I did go yesterday and go get a 50-pound box of potatoes, which will see us through for about 3 weeks. So that was kind of playing it forward too. And anyway, that's all I wanted to talk about, so I'm going to turn it off now. This is our grocery shopping list this week. As you can see, it's quite different from what it was last week. I have this here. We didn't buy this, but it's here to represent 4 bags of mangoes that I put in the freezer. This is fruit that was from my mom's that I'm buying to use, so that's what that representation is. This is all canned fruit to go in food storage. So the line for food we're going to use this week is right here. This is the food we're going to use for this week. This is all stuff that goes into food storage. So I'm just staying ahead on the bread and the cheese and the frozen fruit and everything else, and beer. This week I also picked up batteries, because it's a good thing to have for flashlights and radios, things like that. We had run out of chocolate chips, and if I'm going to make cookies for my husband, I need to have chocolate chips. Also, the big bag of carrots. We haven't used up the carrots that we got 2 weeks ago. So this is enough carrots to see us through for about 6 weeks. And this is a 20-pound box. Is it 20? Yeah, a 20-pound box of Italian chef spaghetti. I think that was $17. The pumpkin is for the rabbits. It was 25 cents a pound. I'm going to get my rabbit bread so that we can have babies before the weather gets really bad. And I like to give her something. Because water freezes in winter, it's nice to have a water-rich food in there for them. So I do things like pumpkins, squash, turnips, beets, that kind of thing. Dishwasher soap. What else do we have? So this is from this week. Last week, we didn't have as much variety as we needed, and we started to go a little bit meat heavy. So I bulked up on vegetables. And I got one more container of cottage cheese this week than I did last week. Those are almost $3 a quart. So they're pretty expensive, but they really help things stretch. And I got 2 roast chickens. So I think we are over our $20 budget for the week, but not by very far. I think we're probably at about $25 for the week for our weekly groceries. So that is what we have. And next week it will look completely different. Next week I'm going to go really heavy at the dollar store and get a year's worth of toothbrushes and Epsom salts and things like that that are cheap at the grocery store. I'm going to see if I can combat the freezing in my fridge by taking a bowl, putting a towel in it, putting my vegetables inside of it, and then wrapping it with another towel to see if it can insulate it a little better than it is. It's just up and down about when it freezes, and it's just too expensive to be wasting food like this. A word on groceries while I'm still thinking about it. If I don't come in and do a regular meal and then sit and watch and make sure that my kids eat it, as in by staying in the kitchen, then what happens is they won't eat all their food, or they won't eat the part that they think is the least wonderful, and they'll come to me 15 minutes later and tell me they're hungry. Or they'll go scrounge in the fridge and take out my expensive cottage cheese or my expensive Gouda, which we eat as a very tiny snack, or apples that are $1 a pound, and they'll eat them, but they won't eat all of them either. They'll just eat down till they're not really feeling hungry anymore, and then they'll throw their apple away. So it's really important in order to be able to live on this kind of, I'm not going to say diet, this kind of lifestyle and trying to conserve food, when you have to make regular meals and you have to supervise your children to make sure they eat them all the way, and that way you're not going to have as much of a problem with snacking. This is the girls' lunch today. It is very heavy on vegetables because our fridge froze carrots, turnips, and lettuce. So those are the things that are going to be on the plate until we can get those frozen ones used up really quickly, because their texture changes completely if they freeze. And it's hard to eat them after that. Even in soups, the carrots and stuff are not good in soups. They're kind of a yucky texture. So I took a third of a breast of chicken, and there's their chicken. It's a roast chicken that I got at the grocery store. And then I have one tomato in each one of their bowls from our neighbors that were green, and we've had them out ripening on the counter. So they each got half a turnip, one tomato, Paige got 2/3 of a carrot, Kaya got 1/3, some cottage cheese, some dressing, and some salad. And again, high on veggies because the fridge froze everything. And that's how you kind of, even in your own fridge, can eat seasonally. As things start to lose some of their freshness, you use them quickly.